All right, everybody, welcome back to AP Entertainment, and for some of you, welcome for the first time. Got a little bit of a makeshift setup today, Easter weekend, up visiting my parents, and I forgot to bring my camera with me, so I'm in the car with my phone, but I wanted to be able to get this review for air out, so here we go. First off, I know I've been giving y'all tours, I've been giving snack reviews, some skits, but I've definitely been slacking on the movie reviews, which was originally supposed to be one of the backbones of the channel. To be honest, part of that is there just hasn't been much popping. When there's not great stuff coming out, I have less desire to go out and watch it and review it. Don't get me wrong. I love to give a good rant every now and again, and the other part has just been bad scheduling luck on my part. When Ant-Man came out, I was really sick for about 2 weeks, so I was never able to get out to get to that. I figured by the time I was feeling better, I might as well just wait for Disney Plus, especially since the reviews weren't great. Creed 3, I was on a work trip when that dropped, and then Shazam dropped the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, and with how bad the reviews are for that, added in that James Gunn has made it clear that movie doesn't matter. I never spent my money to see that either, but I was able to make my comeback to theaters for Air, which is Ben Affleck's next directorial attempt, his first movie since 2016, Live by Night, hard to believe, and we are already 9, if not 10 years from Argo, which won Best Picture, which was also directed by him. Also got The Town and Gone Baby Gone. Honestly, other than Live by Night, all his movies are great. Live by Night's not bad, in my opinion. It's just okay. So I was really looking forward to see what he came up with for his return behind the camera. Of course, he is also in front of the camera because that's what he does. So I like this movie a lot. The first half is very slow. It's very hard to make a compelling movie about something that already happened or that happened in real life because everyone knows how it ends. So in instances like that, you have to have a great screenplay, which this did. But the second half is definitely a lot more intense and moves a lot more. The first half is kind of more about setting up Matt Damon's character, Sonny Vaccaro, kind of learning about him, what he's about, and then so that by the end of the movie, he's kind of the main character and you feel great for him. The acting is great all around. I mean, we got Ben, we got Matt Damon, we got Jason Bateman doing his thing, we got Chris Tucker doing his thing, Viola Davis obviously was amazing. In particular, there are 2 very powerful scenes in this movie. One is a monologue by Matt Damon, where I didn't fully tear, but just like the power of the moment I really felt. And then there's another scene with Viola Davis towards the end of the movie that is also very powerful. I could see Viola getting a Best Supporting Actress nomination from this, even though she was literally in 4 scenes. I could still see that. Anything else Oscar-wise? Maybe Damon for Best Actor. It's hard to say this early on. I mean, the Oscars just happened. So we got, another 10, 11 months of movies to come out that this movie will have to compete with. So it's hard to say, but I say those 2 have the best chance. I know there's been a lot of speculation about who plays Michael Jordan in this movie. I'm not sure the actor's name because his face is never shown. You see him, the camera's walking behind him, things like that. But Ben had said in an interview that he didn't want who was playing Michael Jordan to overshadow the movie itself and overshadow, the guys that worked at Nike and then also MJ's mother. Those were really the main characters of the story, and he didn't want to overshadow that. Personally, I think it was a good decision. And the kid that they did get to play him really looked like 80s MJ. I mean, long, lanky from the back, so they did a good job. If you guys didn't hear, Ben did meet with Michael Jordan for a day to talk about this movie. Michael did give it his blessing, but he said you can only make it if Viola Davis plays my mother. So how do you say no when MJ requests that you play his mom? The tone of the movie is a mix of, kind of serious drama mixed with, there is a lot of funny dialogue. I will say there is a lot of language in this movie, a lot of F's, a lot of MFs, a lot of, bro sports agent talk. This is not a family movie. I would not bring your kids to see this. Just want to put that out there since, hey, it's a movie about Michael Jordan signing a shoe deal. Like, oh, my kids will like this. If you're a parent that cares about your kid hearing language, do not bring them to this movie. I started editing this video and I realized I completely forgot to say one of the main points I wanted to include, and it was going to drive me absolutely crazy. So I decided to hop back in the car so that I could get my point across. So anyway, one of my favorite things about the movie, and it was very Tarantino-esque, and this is how you know you're in the hands of quality filmmakers, is transition scenes and setting the scene when you change locations in the movies. Like, for instance, there's a part where Matt Damon's character rolls up to a 7-Eleven type convenience store, or it might even be a 7-Eleven, and like there's a shot of the car wheel rolling into the spot, there's a shot of what's being sold in the aisles, there's a shot of someone getting a Slurpee, like that kind of stuff to let you know you've moved location. And it, especially in period pieces like this movie takes place in the 80s, so you kind of like show off things from the past to make you feel like you're there. It's very effective, and I just wanted to throw that into my review because it's one of the first things I thought of while I was watching the movie. So now we'll get back to what I recorded earlier. So the listed budget for this movie is $70 to $90 million, which is a lot of money these days for a movie like this. And the opening weekend box office I saw was $30 million, so we're almost halfway there. Unfortunately, I can't say this is a movie that you need to see in theaters, but if you care about movies like this being made, it would be awesome if you could go out and check it out and try to get that box office up. I'd say for this to be considered a success, we got to get to 150, 200 range. So hopefully word of mouth can help this movie out. The good thing about it is if you go to the theater, you won't be disappointed. This movie has a very high downside, meaning I can't see how anyone wouldn't like it. It's just whether or not you think it's okay or you think it's awesome. You're going to be living in that range. I'd be very surprised if anyone saw this movie and did not like it at all. So with that, it's time to give that grade. For Air, I'm going to go with a B+. This movie, you could tell, was made by actual filmmakers and know what they're doing. They took every process of the film very serious, and for that, I appreciate. A lot of times, sports movies are just dumb these days. They definitely did their research, and everything was realistic. So not Affleck's best, but hey, I mean, it's hard to compete with some of the early movies he did. And I think the top of the top for this movie was just kind of limited because, again, we already know how it ends. We know Michael Jordan signs with Nike. But with that being said, man, I hope you guys can get out to the theater, get that box office up so that movies like this can keep getting made and not just be given, you know, cheap Netflix budgets where a bunch of no names are playing everybody. So with that, I will see you guys next time. B+, check it out.